Well, we got some things to discuss, and we got some things to get out the way. We got some things to take care of. But first, let's get the mail, shall we? All right, guys. Deck profile coming up. However, there's one thing we gotta get to first, and that is this opening. Alrighty then, here we go. Alright, so breaking down this new product I got. I love this deck box. First off, the material is nice. It's very smooth. It's not very grainy and whatnot. All the World Chalice monsters are on there except for the World Legacy World Chalice. Notice the Guard Dragon, that detail with the Shine Ball is very nice as well. Anyway, this deck box in particular opens up. You know, you can take the entire flaps out, but not to worry, there's magnets on both sides to where you can even put the covering on the back side in case you just really don't want to struggle pulling out the deck box and all that in the container. And as you can see, the little compartment can hold up to 100 double sleeved cards, so I managed to fit in my 60 card deck with the extra inside. It's a very tight fit, but I managed to do it. Dice tray and everything. Overall, I do like the flexibility of this product. Let's go ahead and get on to the deck. Alrighty folks, starting this deck profile off, we're gonna turbo through a lot of this. This is a 60 card build. Alright, so we got Wanted, 1, 2, 3. Wanted is a 1 card combo in this deck, right? We do have a little bit of Fiendsmith in here, but the Fiendsmith is really to facilitate the World Chalice combo and within that 1 card. So we got 1 Black Witch and 2 Deception. So we are playing the Azamita engine as well. Again, this whole thing facilitates not only the negate, but you can also make your Ib Synchro with the negate up, and you can still kind of do Fiendsmith combo under it, full combo under it, and all that, right? So we got an Hallowed Azamina, we got an OSS, Original Symbol Spoils, and our level 1 fire of choice is going to be Jet Synchron, because that will be the card that we search in normal summon, and we will make the Ib Synchro by going into a Lacrima. So that is how we make the Ib Synchro plus Fiendsmith combo, and obviously we will play at least 1 Engraver to be able to Foolish with the Lacrima and whatnot, so you can essentially full combo, right? So we're gonna have other supporting engines in case you can't get into it. We are on Enchantress 1, 2, 3 and whatnot. We are definitely on a higher vanilla count and more kind of vanilla support, and this is probably the second best supporting engine you can play with any World Chalice build. In general, we all know this, right? 1 Griffin Rider, pretty standard. Rite of Armor Seer, 1, 2, 3. Good to open, good to open. And we got the 1 of Draco back and the 1 of Faithful Adventure. I probably would have made space for a Legal Knight, to be honest. I mean, it's not like the deck didn't really struggle that much going second. Not as much as you may think. It did quite a bit, right? But like, you know, you do wish like it could do like a tad bit more, right? And I think a Legal Knight is a really good example of that. At least it puts on a lot more pressure when it comes to the adventure engine, and essentially having cards that the opponent has to answer, which is kind of key, right? So yeah, anyway, that is it for adventure. Then we got More vanilla support. We are on the primordials or the primites, whatever you want to call them. So we are on 3 lordly loads. 1, 2, 3. The lordly load allows you to add either your unexpected die of the deck, or it allows you to add some sort of either disruption or like more pieces and more tools to allow you to go second with, you know. And yeah, if you want to summon a vanilla also, because you have drill beam accessed, you could do that. If you already used your guard dragon, if you didn't use your guard dragon, then you could just use that instead and allow yourself to be able to activate monster effects still. 3 unexpected dies. Its grave effect is really strong still, like being able to banish a normal summon. It's very rare that your opponent is going to special summon a bunch before they normal summon, right? The only exception to that is if they start with like Unicorn or Fenrir, or if they are starting with Azamina, right? And if they do start with those, it doesn't really matter because of the fact that whatever you banish has to be lower attack of a vanilla that is on field or in grave. And your strongest vanilla you are playing is 1800. So like your Fenrir, the Fenrir can't get banished. I don't even think Silvera can get banished, which is kind of unfortunate, you know what I mean? So, I mean, it really is just used to hit normal summons. 1 drill beam, that is kind of a quick play. I thought about playing 2 of this, to be honest. I kind of wanted to see more of it going second. And I did have like ways to put vanillas on field. Spoiler alert, there are a lot more ways to put vanillas on field other than these unexpected dies, like so. 3 Carbonettin in tandem with nearly anything else in this deck is extremely strong, because it being in hand doesn't really matter, right? You kind of want to see it. You do want to see it. You want to see it with your deception to tribute it out of your hand. You want to see it with water incanters. You want to see it with your unexpected die, you know, your primordial stuff. There's just so many things that you just want to see it with to put it in the graveyard and produce your vanilla. And we do have 2 targets, one being Flammable Guard. That is you know, just in case we couldn't get to the Jet Synchron, or you know, we have other level 4s that we can put on field, so we can put a Flammable Guard up and still be able to make our level 5 synchro. Galaxy Serpent for our level 2. The level 2 is kind of important. I will note this, right? This is supposed to be the Guard Dragon Justia, simply because it is it's a water monster, which means it plays around Bystials. You want to play around Bystials as much as you possibly can, right? And you know, it's a, you know, the attribute is kind of fine, you know what I mean? But other than that, like, you can play this, but if you want to play around Bystials, I would definitely play Guard Dragon Justia instead and whatnot. So for those of you who don't know, Carbonettin, if it's in the graveyard, you can banish it and you get somebody level 7 or lower dragon vanilla monster from your deck of defense. That's what you really care about, or from your deck or hand. So if you open it, you can still do it. Not preferable, but you can still do it. Finally, we are moving on to the World Chalice cards. We got 1 Chosen and 1 Beckon. We would play Crowned, but you know, Carbonettin kind of fills that role of a level 2 tuner, so it's not really needed. 1 Lee, 1 Guard Dragon, 2 World Legacy World Chalice. I did want to play a 3rd one. I really wanted to play a 3rd one, right? I just didn't have space for the 3rd one, to be honest. And a 60 card deck too, imagine that, right? 1 World Legacy Succession. Spoiler, we're not even main decking the counter trap. That's kind of how little space we have in the main deck. So yeah, this is a small World Chalice engine. On to some more extra stuff, right? We are on some dangers, right? We got 3 Danger Nessie, 1 Jackalope, and 1 Such. You really want to get rid of the Nessie to get access to one of these 2 because they're level 3s. Obviously, you can tune them with your level 2 tuner, your Carbonettin target or whatnot, or even just you know, any of your unexpected die, you know, your Primate Roar, right? So these extenders, I thought about playing these because of going second and I wanted to put bodies on the field, and I wanted to climb into like an Underworld Goddess, but I didn't even have space for Underworld Goddess my extra deck, which kind of was unfortunate. So anyway, hand traps. We are on three birds, 3 Fuas, and 3 Perulias. I mean, all of these cards can easily just get sent to grave with things like Black Witch, you know, Deceptions, things like that. You can send it for Lee. Like, there's all sorts of things you can do. Also, like, if you just had like an unexpected die type card, and this, you could just unexpected die for the Flammable Guard and just normal summon any of those and still kind of full combo. So that's nice. 3 Ash because you want to stop opposing players' Fuas, and you want to stop Branded Fusion. Specifically because we still do not like that deck. We still cannot stand Branded at all. 2 Droll and Lockbirds because we want to have additional ways to play into a Fulos if we need to, so we can draw ourselves after they get like 2 draws. And kind of full combo, but not really full combo, like maybe like a half combo and whatnot. It's still probably pretty strong, right? You can Fiendsmith combo under Droll and all that, which is fine. I was kind of undecided on what I wanted the last 2 hand traps to be. It was either going to be Ghost Ogre or it was going to be, what's it called? It was either going to be Ghost Ogre or it was going to be like Veilers, for example, because Veilers a level 1 tuner, right? And all that, right? But I just kind of decided on Ghost Ogre because I wanted to smack more spells on turn 0. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to hit the Deceptions and the Sanguine summonings and stuff like that, right? I wanted Ghost Ogre for Centurion, to be honest. If I'm really keeping it frank, I just want to just shit all over Centurion. 1 Angel Statue, Azaroon, 1 Call By, and the last card in our 60 card main deck, Magical Midbreaker Field. This card is still extremely good, especially with the uptake in hand traps people are playing. There's some decks that are playing like 20 something hand traps, 22 hand traps. That new, like, that Cash Tier Fiendsmith deck is playing like 22. Like, they're on Imperms, Veilers, maybe Mourner, and all that, like that. All of that stuff targets. They all target, right? And, you know, since people are main decking Ghost Ogre, this kind of helps you against Ghost Ogre, right? Not only that, but if your opponent has like an Imperm Dominus combo, the Dominus will still get your card, but it won't pop it and whatnot. So the Midbreaker Field is very... It allows you to play through a lot of your opponent. Like, you have a much easier time playing into your opponent's board. Now, if you really, really wanted to, you could play, if you wanted more copies of these, you could play Set Rotation and another field spell and whatnot. So, like, Set Rotation, Magical Midbreaker Field, and, like, let's say Chicken Game. So if you want to see, like, have 2 Midbreaker Fields instead of just 1. You can do it. Alright, extra deck. Azamina Rusilago, and we got a Silvera. Standard for Azamina stuff. You want to set up your negate before you climb into your Close Heaven, which climbs into your Fiendsmith combo. I chose to go the Desiree route. However, what I'm starting to notice is Nib is starting to make its way back into the decks again. So I may end up just deciding to go for the Caesar route instead, you know. However, what can't be underestimated is that this is a Link 2 and you are trying to climb, right? The Link climbing is kind of important for this deck. And, you know, because we are kicking it old school a little bit, right? We're going back to, like, kind of like, you just want to link spam. You want to link spam, and you want to be able to link spam and not have, like, you want to link spam with as flexible of hands as possible. Many hands as possible, and you want to just put bodies on field, and these bodies on field should equal full combo, basically. So I'll show you a little bit later what I mean kicking it old school, right? Or kicking it back, you know, throwbacks. Justice here, still our favorite card in the game. Glad she's back. One Imduck, I really wanted to play 2, or at least one other Link 1. Did not have the space for it. If I had space for like any other card in my extra deck, it would probably be the Ib Link 2. And you'll see why in a second. We got Aurum. You want to keep it on field most of the time. If you can keep it on field, your follow-up turn will probably just win you the game. One Lib and one Ningirsu. Again, kicking it old school. Like, I've said this years ago, but I'll say it again. Playing World Chalice without Ningirsu just doesn't feel right. It just does not feel right to play World Chalice without this card, right? And this is why the Fiendsmith sequence being a Link 2 is good, right? You want to, like, let's say you want to make your Lib, right? You want to make your sequence, you know, and then you want to make your other Link 1, like, let's say your Imduck, you want to bring it back or whatever, off of, like, your Aurum, right? You fuse into Desiree, make Ningirsu, you're going to draw 2 cards, unfortunately, right? You're not going to draw 3. And then you can just use a sequence engrave to equip to your Desiree, and you just keep it pushing, right? So we will often climb into IP Masquerena. We'll often link off the IP Masquerena as well, and during our turn, you know, and bring it back. So on the opponent's turn, we can make an SP. Silhouette Rabbit, we play it for when we get hand trap too much, and we play it for the extra link because we can extra link in this deck, right? And the last card is our Firewall Singularity. Singularity, I can't tell you how strong this card is. This card is so good, all right? So we'll often link into IP, right? So we'll have Aurum up here. We'll have Aurum up top. We'll climb in IP, climb into Singularity. We have enough bodies, and then we climb into the Silhouette Rabbit, so we have our V-shaped extra link. And then we can Singularity, bring back the IP. We can Statue of Azaroon. Next to a Singularity, we can negate a card with the Azaroon. So Singularity can trigger, maybe summon back a Lib that's out of the graveyard. And then you can IP into SP and still keep that extra link and whatnot. So you often end on like extra link plus Desiree, plus like Silvera and stuff, maybe even Griffin Rider. Anyways, side deck. Very, very easy, simple, straightforward side deck. Since we are playing a link spam deck, we want to steal our opponent's entire field and use it for link material. Since we want to take generic bodies and turn them into links for our own combos. So 3 Mind Control is where it's at. Mind Control not being once per turn, very valuable. And of course, we're not playing 3 Mind Control without at least including the Change of Heart and of course Snatch Steal. So we have 5 Steal cards. You know, sounds like enough. And we will side into the Underworld Goddess, right? Siding into Underworld Goddess is nice because like our opponent will never see it coming, right? If we want to keep the dangers in, we'll summon a few times, right? And if they don't answer anything because they're just special summons, they don't do anything, we can link off their one of their key monsters into an Underworld Goddess, right? It's a light fiend, so then once you blank the rest of their field with the Underworld Goddess, you can just link it off into Requiem, all right? And then just go Fiendsmith combo. That World Legacy Sorrow, you know, unfortunately it's not in our main deck, it is on our side though. So yeah, we gotta have something for Spell Speed Force. Speaking of, we got 3 Thrust we're being cheeky with Featherstorm, Swamp Mirror. It was a toss-up between either this or 3 crossouts with a Nib and a Shifter, right? However, you know, why do that? Why even like hope to go into that when you can just win the game? You could just win the game, right? If you get drolled, if you get Fulos or whatnot, it doesn't matter, right? You just win the game. You know, that's just kind of what you go for. Anyway, 2 Unending Nightmares. This card put in so much work. It just solos Centurion. That card literally just solos that deck. Centurion literally loses to this card. Not only that, but as Amina loses to it, right, the Fire King stuff won't ever go through with this card. The Temple, the Divine Temple of the Snake Eye, that gets wrecked by this card. Any runic variant in general, like if they don't have destruction, you will get their fountain off the field. You'll get all their floodgates off the field if they got them set. You know, that Power Stone card, that card, like all of those crazy floodgates, they're just all gone, right? This beats like the Sangan summoning. It beats like the skill drains if you're playing the White Fort against White Force. Like this card is like Ghost Ogre, but better. It is just better than Ghost Ogre, like post side. And the last card is Primi Hell. For those of you who don't know, its field effect doesn't matter. Its grave effect is where this card is trying to shine, right? You can banish it from your graveyard, and you target a monster your opponent controls, and with attack greater than a normal monster in your graveyard, and you just take control of it until the end phase. So, oftentimes you will have, if you don't have a Carboneted in circulation, then none of your 2 dragons will be in the graveyard, which means like you can't take like virtually anything. But if Chosen's in the graveyard, for example, you can, right? This card is also one of the reasons why I probably want to play like the Crown instead of the Guard Dragon Justia, right? Because if I have Chalice combo and I don't have Carboneted, I can take anything because Crown is 0, right? But it's something where you can just kind of steal a monster, right? Link the monster that you stole with IP into SP, right? Save your own stuff, right? Cool. Yeah, it's just something that you can search if you already have Roar accessed. So anyway, that's the deck, guys. All right, guys, that's the deck profile. What do you guys think? That deck performs very nicely, right? I think the next video I'm going to make is going to be some combo tutorials as to how this stuff is going to work, right? There's probably going to be maybe a replay or 2 just kind of show it in action against an actual opponent and whatnot, and how much it can actually play through, yada yada yada. Anyway, guys, feedback definitely appreciated. So with that being said, I need to go to sleep. I got out of the shower, got home from work and whatnot, but I had to do this. So anyway, thanks for your patience, guys, and thank you so much for watching. This is J Money, and I am. Maybe we finally go into the unknown. Let's go.